It appears that my fears are already coming to fruition. The United States has officially attacked two targets within Syria that are specifically linked to Iran. Now, so far, Iran and Syria have not been direct parties to this conflict. Israel just decided to attack Syria because that's just how Israel rolls. They can just attack third countries and there's no consequences whatsoever. And the US has decided to do this too. They're just attacking Syria and they're attacking Iran. Now, neither of these countries have been direct participants in the war so far. Obviously, they're both deeply involved with Hezbollah and Hamas. I don't think anyone really doubts that. But the U.S. is deeply involved with Israel. So if we're going to be taking the perspective that third parties that supply weapons and training to the belligerents in this conflict can be attacked, then any of the U.S. bases is fair game. So let's look at this article. The U.S. has carried out airstrikes against two weapon and ammunition storage facilities in eastern Syria used by Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Do we even know this for certain? Probably not. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said the strikes were in response to recent attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria. Why does the U.S. have bases in Syria? Oh, yeah, the ones that are occupying the oil. So it's like, let's just think about this for a minute. Let's really think about this. I think the Iraqi government, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't the Iraqi government told them to leave? So the U.S. has bases occupying a country that doesn't want them there. And the people decide to attack the occupation force. And in self-defense, like, we have to just blow up stuff. That's the logic that we're being presented with here. That's cool. The U.S. strikes were separate and distinct from the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, he said in a statement. That is very disturbing. So what he's saying is, yeah, I know we're sending in the 4 carrier groups, where we have 2 there already. We've started to blow stuff up. This is a separate conflict. This is not the world war that could come about because of Israel-Hamas. This is another world war that could come about because we want to go to war with Iran. And once again, like, that is profoundly disturbing. So we're adding like another conflict on top of conflict at this point in time. We're bringing in 2 countries that weren't directly militarily involved. That's how you de-escalate a situation. The strikes carried out by a pair of F-16 U.S. Air Force fighters took place. K is not known if there's any casualties. These precision self-defense strikes were a response to a series of ongoing and mostly unsuccessful attacks against U.S. personnel in Iraq and Syria. Someone can correct, I'm pretty sure the Iraqi government's asked them to leave. So it's like the legitimate governments of these countries have told them to GTFO, but they won't. And if you attack an occupying force, that is an act of aggression. Makes sense to me. U.S. and coalition troops have been attacked at least 12 times in Iraq, and 4 times in Syria. I feel bad. It's a tragedy. It's not as tragic as what happened to Israel. It's a pretty big tragedy. American officials attribute the attacks to Iranian proxy groups operating in the region. Iran backs both Hamas, which controls Gaza, and Hezbollah, which operates in Lebanon with arms as well as money. And the United States backs ISIS and moderate rebels and Israel with weapons and money. That's not even controversial. That's what happened. I mean, they don't well, maybe. They presumably they don't back ISIS anymore, but they just decided to give the moderate rebels in Syria a bunch of weapons and money, and they're like, it's going to work out, guys. It's going to be great. If attacks by Iran's proxies against U.S. forces continue, we will not hesitate to take further necessary measures to protect our people. I think what the U.S. should do is they should level part of Iran. Maybe go to Khuzestan. Go to Khuzestan and level it with carpet bombing and occupy it. And then if Iran shoots back, you say that Iran is an aggressive nation and you invade Iran. That's what they need to do. That's what needs to be done. They need to occupy parts of Iran, occupy more of Syria, violently take it over, and then if anybody shoots back, It's an act of aggression. It's that's what it is. That sounds cool. In normal times, these airstrikes would not be remarkable. That's just something that happens. You just randomly bomb countries every day. It's why would you think that that would be an act of war or anything like that? It's just the way it goes. But with the war raging in the Gaza Strip and fears of an escalation to a regional conflict, there is an underlying worry that Iran as proxies could soon get involved. You know what's the best way to ensure Iran doesn't get involved? Is to launch attacks against them. That's a good way to deal with it. And to threaten that you're going to attack them more. That's brilliant. Rare message to Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. The UN General Assembly meeting in New York. Iran's foreign minister warned that Washington would not be spared for the fires engulfing the region if the violence in Gaza continued. On Thursday, U.S. officials said more than 900 troops are also being moved to the area. U.S. is at great pains to emphasize that the overnight action in Syria is not connected with what's going on in Gaza. It was not done in coordination with Israel. No, it's not. It's not related at all. It has nothing to do with Hamas attacking Israel. That has nothing to do with Hezbollah. It's completely unrelated, guys. I'm going to have to press X to doubt on that one. Yeah, the U.S. bases are on high alert. The U.S. is perceived in much of the Arab world as a close ally of Israel. Is it perceived as a close ally, or is it a close ally? I mean, they call it our greatest ally. U.S. bases have come under attack before. You could just leave Syria. You could stop occupying parts of Syria. Why is there U.S. bases in Syria? Why are there U.S. bases in Iraq, for that matter? Like, it's the old play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's not even like with Vietnam, where the South Vietnamese government wanted them to be there and wanted their support. The Syrian government under Assad doesn't want them there. I don't think the Iraqi government wants them there either. But they're just going to continue to occupy this territory in hopes, it's basically in hopes that Iran or Syria or somebody just tries to get them out so then they can claim self-defense. It's just very, very fake and Giesler is how I will put it. So that's what's going on. World War III. Let's go.